Imagine finding comfort and connection in music that speaks a different language from artists thousands of miles away. That's the powerful reality for countless Portuguese armies. We're bringing you their heartfelt stories, revealing how BTS's message has woven itself into the fabric of their lives, creating a bond that's both deeply personal and universally understood. From Lisbon to every corner of the world, how did BTS create a global phenomenon that deeply resonates with Portuguese armies? We're exploring how their music breaks through cultural barriers and unites fans worldwide, proving that their impact is truly universal. Get ready to understand why BTS isn't just a band, they're a global movement. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to Asian pop culture and turn on notifications so you never miss our deep dives into global fandom stories and the cultural impact of your favorite artists. Your support helps us continue bringing you thoughtful, well-researched content from around the world. When we talk about BTS as a global phenomenon, the conversation often centers around massive markets like the United States, South Korea, or Japan. But today, we're taking a closer look at a country that may not always dominate headlines in K-pop discussions, yet holds one of the most passionate and emotionally connected fan communities in Europe: Portugal. This is not just about chart numbers or streaming statistics. This is about resonance. It's about why BTS's message feels deeply personal to so many Portuguese armies, and how their music has woven itself into the cultural and emotional fabric of a nation known for its rich history, saudade-filled poetry, and strong sense of identity. To understand why BTS resonates so profoundly in Portugal, we have to begin with the emotional landscape of the country itself. Portugal is a nation shaped by history, by exploration, migration, economic crises, resilience, and a deep cultural attachment to emotion, often expressed through fado music. Fado is not just a genre, it is a feeling. It embodies longing, nostalgia, vulnerability, and hope intertwined. When Portuguese armies describe their connection to BTS, many reference similar emotional threads. They speak about how BTS's music doesn't just entertain, it understands them. Several Portuguese fans have shared that their first encounter with BTS was not through flashy performances or trending hashtags, but through lyrics. Even though the songs were in Korean, translations revealed themes of self-doubt, ambition, mental health, societal pressure, and personal growth. For a country that experienced economic crises that deeply affected young people, especially during the late 2000s and early 2010s, messages about perseverance and self-worth hit differently. When BTS sang about chasing dreams despite systemic challenges, Portuguese youth heard echoes of their own realities. One recurring story from Portuguese armies is how the Love Yourself era became a turning point. In Portugal, discussions about mental health have historically been somewhat reserved, often confined to private circles. While awareness has grown significantly in recent years, many young people still describe feeling pressure to appear strong and composed. When BTS openly addressed vulnerability, anxiety, and the importance of self-acceptance, it gave fans permission to confront their own emotions more openly. Portuguese armies often say that BTS didn't just provide comfort, they provided language. They articulated feelings that many struggled to express in their own words. What makes this even more powerful is the cultural value Portugal places on authenticity. Portuguese audiences are known for appreciating sincerity in art, whether in traditional music, literature, or modern pop culture. Authenticity carries weight. Fans repeatedly emphasize that what sets BTS apart is their perceived genuineness. From early behind-the-scenes content to candid interviews, Portuguese armies saw a group that was not afraid to show imperfection. That transparency fostered trust. It transformed casual listeners into deeply loyal supporters. Language, surprisingly, became less of a barrier and more of a bridge. At first, some Portuguese listeners hesitated. Korean was unfamiliar, and K-pop was often misunderstood as a niche trend. But as social media platforms expanded access to translated content, Portuguese armies took initiative. Fan translation accounts emerged on Twitter and Instagram, translating lyrics, interviews, and live stream moments into Portuguese. These grassroots efforts were not small. They became central to the fandom's growth in Portugal. Fans weren't just consuming content, they were actively building infrastructure to make it accessible. Many Portuguese armies describe how discovering BTS felt like discovering a community before discovering a band. Through group chats, local meetups in Lisbon and Porto, and online forums, fans found spaces where they could share interpretations of lyrics, discuss theories, and support one another. In a country where youth emigration has been a significant phenomenon, digital communities became especially meaningful. For some, BTS was not just music playing in their headphones, it was a thread connecting them to people across cities and even across borders, including Portuguese-speaking communities in Brazil and beyond. Another dimension of BTS's impact in Portugal is their emphasis on education and self-improvement. Portuguese armies often highlight how BTS inspired them to pursue academic goals, creative projects, or even learn new languages. Some fans began studying Korean out of curiosity, while others felt motivated to explore music production, dance, or writing. There are stories of university students who credit BTS's speeches, particularly those delivered at global platforms, with shifting their perspective on failure and ambition. The message that it's okay not to have everything figured out resonated deeply in a society where traditional career paths can still feel rigid. The concept of saudade also plays an interesting role in how Portuguese fans interpret BTS's artistry. Saudade is often described as a deep emotional state of nostalgic longing for something or someone absent. Many armies in Portugal say that certain BTS songs evoke a similar feeling, a bittersweet blend of hope and melancholy. Tracks that reflect on youth, friendship, and the passage of time align closely with this cultural sensibility. Fans have expressed that even without understanding every word at first listen, they could feel the emotional weight carried in the melodies and vocal delivery. Portuguese armies also speak about representation in a broader sense. Growing up in a Western-dominated media environment, many were accustomed to American and European pop acts. The rise of a Korean group to global prominence challenged preconceived notions about what mainstream success looks like. For young Portuguese fans, watching BTS break barriers reinforced the idea that cultural origin does not limit global impact. It expanded their worldview. Some fans describe feeling proud not only as ARMY, but as Europeans witnessing a shift in cultural power dynamics. There is also a strong philanthropic thread within the Portuguese ARMY community. Inspired by BTS's own charitable efforts and socially conscious messaging, local fan bases have organized donation drives, blood donation campaigns, and community support initiatives. These projects are often carried out quietly, without expectation of media attention. For Portuguese armies, supporting BTS means embodying the values they promote: kindness, empathy, and collective action. Interestingly, Portuguese fans often highlight the sense of maturity in BTS's evolving discography. As the members grew older and explored more introspective themes, fans in Portugal felt they were growing alongside them. The transition from youthful rebellion to reflective adulthood mirrored the life stages of many armies who discovered BTS as teenagers and are now navigating careers, relationships, and identity in their 20s and 30s. This shared evolution created a long-term bond, rather than a fleeting phase. Social media has amplified these narratives. Portuguese army accounts frequently trend hashtags locally, celebrate member birthdays with coordinated projects, and organize streaming goals. But beyond metrics, what stands out is the tone of conversation. Interviews and fan testimonials reveal a recurring theme. BTS gave them courage. Courage to speak up, to pursue creative passions, to confront insecurities, and to form friendships outside their immediate social circles. Even those who initially approached BTS with skepticism, questioning the boy band label or dismissing K-pop as temporary, often changed their perspective after engaging more deeply with the music and message. Portuguese armies recount stories of introducing BTS to family members who later became supportive, if not fans themselves. This gradual shift in perception reflects a broader cultural openness that has been growing in Portugal over the past decade. What makes the Portuguese army experience unique is not just the intensity of support, but the emotional articulation behind it. When asked why BTS matters to them, fans rarely start with awards or records. They talk about healing, they talk about connection, they talk about feeling seen. They describe late nights listening to songs that felt like letters written directly to their hearts. They speak about concerts watched through live streams, tears shared with strangers who quickly became friends, and the comfort of knowing they were part of something larger than themselves. In many ways, BTS's impact in Portugal illustrates a broader truth about music in the digital age. Geography no longer defines emotional reach. A song written in Seoul can resonate in Lisbon as if it were composed down the street. Cultural differences become layers of richness rather than barriers. Portuguese armies are living proof that authenticity, vulnerability, and meaningful storytelling can transcend language. As we reflect on these voices and experiences, it becomes clear that BTS's resonance in Portugal is not accidental. It is the result of shared values, resilience, emotional honesty, and a belief in growth. It is strengthened by community initiatives and sustained by fans who actively nurture the space they inhabit. It is about more than fandom. It is about identity, empathy, and belonging. If you enjoyed this deep dive into how BTS's message connects so powerfully with Portuguese armies, make sure to subscribe to Asian pop culture, like this video, and share it with fellow fans who appreciate exploring the cultural layers behind the music. Let us know in the comments which country's army story we should explore next. Your engagement helps this community grow, and we can't wait to continue this journey with you.